This is another episode of Built From Nothing. I'm your host, Sean. I'm here with my guy, Nell, and I'm here with a special guest. I'm here with the smooth, efficient, pros pro, Evan Singletary.
Appreciate that, man. This is actually an honor to do this, man. That's one of the reasons why I came back home, man, to, share knowledge and, tell my story.
Appreciate you. But we're going to just jump straight to high school, man. How you got the Archbishop Curley?
Man, funny, right? So my mother actually made me go to Curley. I had Towson Catholic on my list, number 1, and Dunbar was number 2. Took a little shadow day up Towson Catholic. Loved it up there. Small gym, but I loved it. And then Coach Cyrus Jones was talking to my mother about going to Dunbar straight from out the gate. My mother sent me up Archbishop Curley for a basketball camp. And I don't know how the coach sold on it, but 2 weeks before school started, she said, "You going to Archbishop Curley." So that's really how I got there, honestly.
That's tough. And how you do up there?
Man, honestly, basketball-wise, it wasn't that bad.
How did you end up getting Dunbar?
So right before I transferred, I was supposed to go to Poly. I forgot the coach's name, but it was a guy at Poly coaching, and I told him I was leaving. So he was like, what about Poly? So I'm like, not a bad idea. He left and went to another school. I had talked to Coach Cyrus Jones, in the summer, and he was like, basically just broke it down to me like, if you want to come, come. Like I ain't pressuring you. We don't need you, but if you want to come, come. But it's crazy because before I even got down there that summer, Aaron Parham was my teammate. We was playing with Team Mello.
Right.
So we was up New York, and we was talking about me transferring down there. We was in New York. Me, Parham, and John Crowder, rest in peace. All three of us was like, yo, we going down. So I wound up going. Big John had just transferred before, the tragedy happened to him. Mm. And then once I got down there, I didn't even know the guys was down there that was down there at the time.
Crazy.
Akeem Austin, I didn't know he was down there.
Crazy.
Dante Pretlow, I didn't know he was down there.
Crazy.
So, these Division I guys.
For sure.
So, when I get down there, I'm thinking, it's my show. No. No, it ain't my show. Mel was down there. I forgot Jamel Artist was down there. So, I get down there, we loaded. So, once I get down there, just the practices and the summer workouts was tough, man. Mm-hmm. It was tough running with the bricks and just going from Curley to Dunbar, just a, completely different story. And I didn't even really know the history of Dunbar like that.
Okay.
Until I got down there and seen the banners. It wasn't like I knew the Muggsies and all them, Mike Lloyd's down there. I ain't know nothing about that. I just went.
First year out the gate, you helped lead them to a state championship. And then the second year, y'all win the city and the state together. Yeah. And y'all was cold. 22-3 record. First team all Metro for you. Man, take us through those 2 years real quick.
It was fun, man. Just learning under Cyrus Jones, man, who played on the 91 Dunbar team. They went undefeated. Just learning from him. And he just putting us on game. Assistant coach Paul Banks played on that team as well.
Oh, man, Banks.
They just put us all on game with everything. The alumni coming back. The Keith Booth's coming back and talking to us. And just that Dunbar pride, you know what I'm saying? Us watching Poet Pride when the DVD came out.
Yeah.
Before practice, motivating us every day and just having those leaders. Like Dante Pretlow wasn't our leading scorer, but he was our leader. You know what I'm saying? He was that guy that made everybody comfortable and made sure everybody was on game. Parham made sure everybody was on game. Mm-hmm. I was just the guy to get a ball to and put the ball in the basket.
For sure.
So I didn't really had to do that much outside of that. Mm-hmm. And that made me tough. So practicing against them, I learned how to grab shorts. I learned all that from Dante. I learned all that from Tater.
Right.
That's some Dunbar stuff.
He showed me how to, when you rip past somebody, grab their knee and all that.
So at the 2 state titles and in the city championship, especially with y'all record, I mean, I'm assuming that the recruiting is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's not super crazy. Mm-hmm. It's not crazy because of my grades.
Gotcha.
So, the schools are coming in, man, especially once we became Fab 50, top 50 in the country that year. Once we got that, coaches was in there almost every day.
100%.
Mid-majors, all types of schools in there.
Who was looking at you?
At that time, Florida Atlantic was in there a lot. Loyola was in there a lot. UMBC was in there a lot. Stony Brook was in there a lot. George Mason was really my main choice. They was in there. University of Radford was in there crazy. Who else at that time? I know George Mason was like that's what my eyes was on during my senior year.
Yeah.
I went to their elite camp. They was sending me mail. They was calling. That's where I really wanted to go, honestly.
So how you ended up at Mobley? I'm sorry, Area Community College.
Another crazy story. So right after my senior year, I played a tournament with Cecil Kurt. Rest in peace, Duty.
Rest in peace, Duty.
And he was, talking about prep school, but me not knowing, and I ain't hear nobody in my ear, I'm like, oh, that don't sound too good to me. So prep school was out the way. I knew nothing about Juco. A lot of East Coast guys, we don't really know Juco. We know B triple, and that's probably right. That's it. We don't know how that Midwest and that down south Juco is really like high major Division I. Right. So I go to a unsigned open gym up Forest Park. Great White had it. And he had a couple coaches in there. Patrice Days also helped. He at Mississippi State right now. And Trinity Valley was the school down in Texas. They was in there watching, and that's just one of the days I could not miss. I was in there going nuts. And then he offered me on the spot. He gave me this little booklet of the school and all that. Sean Kemp went there, matter of fact, but he never played. Sean Kemp went there. He had to sit out.
That's tough.
And he was just telling me people that went there, and I said, all right, that sounds good. No visit, no nothing. I committed there. I want to say a couple weeks before school started, the head coach, because the guy wasn't the head coach I was talking to. Coach Ferb was assistant. I got a call from the head coach. He said, Evan, I'm leaving. I'm going to Mobley in Missouri. If you want to come with me, you can come. I'm like, I ain't got nothing else to do. Bet I'm going with you. So I wound up going with him. No visit, no nothing. So that's pretty much how I got out there.
So Missouri is a lot different from Baltimore, I'm assuming. So kind of tell me a little bit about adjusting to being down there, and that's like your first college experience.
That's when I became a gym rat.
That's probably what made you for real.
That's what, man, just hungry, and you on a team and in dorms with 10, 11 other guys that's just hungry. And we in this Midwest JUCO. So these guys transferring from Division Ones. You got guys who easily high major but don't have the grades. Sure. Guys jumping out the gym.
That's a good area.
Out they sleep.
That's a good area.
We go in the gym, they dunking backwards out they sleep. All types of crazy stuff. So yeah, it was definitely different.
So I mean, you had a good sophomore year, averaging 16 a game. So is the coaches lining up? Tell me about the recruiting and how you got to Albany.
Man, I was supposed to get out of there after my freshman year. Freshman year, I averaged like around 9 points. I didn't play the first 3 games. I had a headache one practice. Coach said, "Well, you can't play." Man, I swear, toughest coach I ever played for. Man, we talk to this day. I didn't play the first 3 games. He put me in one game. I got in, went nuts, hit like 4 threes in a row. Got in the rotation from there. Then I started starting. Then I went another slump, put me back on the bench. So it was rocky.
Gotcha.
And then he kept bringing people in the summer to play over me. So he kept bringing guys from that area, Chicago, St. Louis. Luckily my roommate, who at the time was Mike Anderson, he went on to University of Washington. He was just telling me, yo, stay consistent. Whoever they bring in, you guard them and you go at them. 100%. That's all it is, you know what I'm saying? So once I got that, that mentality from Mike Anderson, I basically earned my spot the next year. And even the next year, I came out the bench the first 5 games of the year. And then somebody got suspended, started starting.
Took off.
From there, I took off. I mean, but before that, he would tell me in meetings, like, I know you one of the best players on the team, but, let's use you as a spark. And, I'm not going to complain. Cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I got to do. I'm playing with, my whole starting 5 went high major, so I'm playing with a bunch of good guys. They know what I can do. And then from there, I just took off.
So tell me about the recruiting to go to Albany. Because Mobley, you was all region, right?
Yeah. Region, man, with a bunch of good, man, tough players, man. All the other guys was going to, Tennessee and Florida State, and my teammate was going to West Virginia.
Crazy.
The recruitment was crazy, but for me, I had gotten into an altercation with my coach during practice, which, always happens, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I didn't even want him involved in my recruitment. So whoever was just coming to me strictly, which one of the schools was Albany, I just committed.
Yeah.
In the middle of the season. I didn't even finish the year out. Middle of the season, I'm like, coach, I had a real good game against Indian Hills. They was the #1 team in the country, had 37. And after that, schools was blowing me up. And Albany, they been with me from the jump. No visit, no nothing. Got into the altercation. I said, you know what? I just want to come to y'all school. They said, let's do it. But, right after that, I know North Carolina Central was on me hard. Central Michigan was on me hard. St. Mary's came into the picture late. They was on me hard. And if I didn't commit to Albany, I know for sure I was going to go to St. Mary's out Cali. For sure. Like, no. I
no question.
I already knew I was going to St. Mary's. But my coach was telling me I committed so early that after that, he said the Seton Halls was going to come. The St. John's was going to come. He said I just wasn't patient because we got into that altercation.
That would have been cold,
You know
too.
what I'm saying? So it really was just that altercation, and nobody was in my ear. Like, I didn't have no guy that was been on that level.
Right.
Or I got 2 brothers, but they not sports guys. My little brother played football.
You learned it out the mud.
So
for
I'm
real.
just learning as time go. You know what I'm saying? And it worked out. You know what I'm saying? It all worked out at the end of the day.
So let's talk about Albany, man, because that's when I kind of got to see you play. So, first of all, let's talk about the 2014 Fit team. I got a moment, right? You hit a game winning against Vermont.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was cold. Man, give us the play-by-play to that.
Man, that's one of the toughest gyms I think I had to play in. Small gym too. Like, during that time I've always been the type of guy where it's like I'm either gonna win it or I'm gonna lose it. But I'm not afraid to take the shot. So I do remember it like play by play. I looked up at the clock about 8-9 seconds. Coach was hyping the point guard up, before the game anyway. So I already had an issue with him. And I just was like, this is my time. So the screen was coming. I'm telling him, no, I don't need a screen. One tween, just sizing him up. I know I'm a pull. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a pull. Just sizing him up. I just give him one hard step. He kept going. And just raised over top.
Bucket.
It went in, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the moment where you like, man, this team, we about to go far?
That was one of the moments. A couple games before that, I hit a game winner against Yale. At Yale.
I read that.
Yeah, at
I read
Yale,
that.
I hit a shot with like a minute to go, and Yale was pretty good that year. I think they went to the tournament that year, but I hit a shot against them as well. So I think the Yale game might have been the first one that was like, oh, I'm here. And then the Vermont was just like, kind of like stamp.
Y'all win the conference, and then y'all go to the tournament. You got to walk me through.
Peter Hooley, who was my teammate, his mom had died, so he had to go back to Australia. So I think 2 years before that, he was, I think he was first team all conference or second team, whatever he was, but he was a real important piece to the team. So me and my other teammate, Ray Sanders, we had came in as Juco, Juco guys, and, just working out before the season, we would always tell ourselves first team or player of the year or NC, we just talking to ourselves, shooting the ball every night in the gym and things like that. So that year we went 15-1 in conference.
Crazy.
So yeah, crazy. So most wins in history of Albany. And then when Pete came back, it was a lot of things that he's going to mess our chemistry up and things like that. But he actually fit right in. And I was already on a roll. Being that second guy, I was already on a roll. I was on a roll. Once he came back, still not trying to step on toes, but, let him ease his way back in as well. And, it all worked out. He wound up hitting the game-winning shot in the championship against Stony Brook. And then, we was on our way to, to the NCAA tournament.
Y'all ran up against Oklahoma.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Buddy Hill. And them
Buddy
guys.
Hill.
Just the experience was crazy.
It was
man.
crazy.
The charter and the escorted by the police everywhere you go. It was just a great experience, man. Great experience.
Did you go to any combines? Did you go to any workouts?
So again, me not knowing nobody that's been in that position, I don't, what I'm saying? I just know NBA. You know what I'm saying? Now, we being realistic. I'm not going to the NBA from Albany. I didn't average 30. You know what I'm saying? So from there, overseas.
Got you.
Again, we don't know much about overseas. I don't know no guys over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much the same way with JUCO, the same way with going to Albany. It's just go. You know what I'm saying? So this agent that hit me up, Nate Robinson had signed with him at the time. And I'm just going off names at this point. I'm just going off names. Nate Robinson signed with him? He must know what he's doing. Cool. Signed with him. He wound up telling me, the process and things like that. He was out of Israel. And he had a deal for me in Denmark, but I didn't even have a passport. So I couldn't even take that. So I had to go to D.C. and get one expedited. Went down to D.C., got a passport. I was on my way to Slovakia.
Yeah. And that was a good season for you.
Yeah, great season, but the experience was, oh, man, again, bro, it's trash.
Walk us through 'em, bro.
Bro, I didn't have no kitchen. I didn't have no kitchen. I had to buy my own TV. So, again, these are things that I'm telling the guys now. Like, no, make sure your Wi-Fi good in your contract. Make sure you got a TV. I got to tell these guys because
you had to go through it.
Because I got to go through it. You know what I'm saying? So, but on the court, wasn't bad, man.
So you played in Slovakia, you played in Czech Republic, and you played in Iceland. What was your favorite place to play? And tell us why.
Well, I went to Czech twice.
I know. And you went to Iceland twice.
Yeah, and I went to Uruguay. Yeah, I went to Uruguay in South America.
Okay.
Which might have been my favorite outside of basketball. Just because it's 80 degrees in November and December.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a block away from the beach. So it's like...
You was living.
Can't beat that. And there was 3 Baltimore guys down there already.
Oh, yeah.
So Cam Williams was down there, went to St. Joe. Corn Henry was down there with the Newtown.
Shout out to Corn.
Who else was down there?
Yeah, shout out to Corn, bro.
One more guy was down there, but all 3 of us was down there at the same time. And then a guy, like the D.C. area, Donald Robinson, who I played with in Czech, he was down in Uruguay with me with another team.
So you had people
So I had
you.
people down there, yeah. So we would, go out and things like that. All the imports they brought in were, either NBA stamped or, high-level guys. DeJuan Blair was down there.
Tough.
Al Thornton was down there.
Tough.
So it was real competitive, real competitive down there. But honestly, Iceland probably was my favorite.
Yeah, and I could believe that.
Most
you killed it
Americanized,
too.
yeah. Most Americanized. The league wasn't that tough. The Iceland guys wasn't that good because most of their guys go somewhere else to play. But just me getting back on my feet from in Czech when I wanted to shoot. I really wanted to stop when I was in Czech, honestly. My second time in Czech, I wanted to stop. But going to Iceland really just, built my confidence back up.
So why you stopped playing?
So I went to Ukraine, 2021, right before the war hit. I was in there August. My girl was pregnant at the time, and, my oldest, who was, Aubrey was 7 at the time. I think she was 7 at the time. She was getting older. Every time I leave, Daddy, why you can't stay home? Why you can't stay home? It's draining. Draining. I'm 1,000 miles away. Forget the money. Forget basketball. It was draining. So I didn't even make my oldest. I didn't make her birth. I was in Missouri, so I didn't make her birth. So I got there when she was 4 days old. Like, damn, father ain't. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure I made my son's birth. Gotcha. That was first. Man, that ride from Baltimore to Turkey was just hurting my stomach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hurting. Like, I normally hurt because normally I drop off at school the day I got to go. And, it's always emotional and things like that. She know I'm leaving. But this time was different, man. That ride from Baltimore to Turkey and then from Turkey to Ukraine, I don't know, it felt right. Just felt a little different. So I got over there, and I was only there for like a week.
Gotcha.
I was in Ukraine for a week. The people wasn't, you know what I'm saying? They look at you funny, and I don't know. And then we go get something to eat one day with a couple of my teammates. There was a tank drives by the restaurant. A tank.
Gotta go.
Nah, I'm out.
Then behind the tank, you got a truck full of Army guys with AKs. I said, yeah, nah, it's time. Like, it's time to go home. I don't even want to think about basketball right now. So I had to pay my way back home and give them money back for bringing me over there, which was like $1,300 to get me over there. Plus, give them another $600 so I can get home.
Right.
So I'm basically just paying for everything. Didn't get paid a dime over there because I didn't practice. I didn't play a game, and to me, it wasn't worth it. So I just came right back for real. So
tell us how you got into coaching.
I got into coaching. I mean, my baby girl hoop. So she been playing since she came out. So she take her to the gym with me. She watching. Then she started playing herself. Originally at 4 years old, she started playing junior NBA. So then just watching her and taking her in the gym, training her. Man, I came home. I said, now I can be hands-on, with my baby girl. So then I take her over to Team Thrill to play with the girls. But then I start getting a relationship with the girls. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in there, damn near player development coach.
Right.
I'm taking some of them to the side. We working on footwork and things like that. I watch from the side, the first couple games, stuff like that. And then that next year, the coach just put me on the damn staff. Like, with no ask. No, ain't asked me. We have a parent meeting, and then it say Coach Evan Singletary on the slide.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, ain't even asked.
Right.
I wasn't gonna say no though. You know what I'm saying? So I get to be hands on with with Shorty at every game, plus help other little girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, couldn't say no.
Who was a player, right,
Mm-hmm.
that they was gassed up? Oh, that's not gassed. They was nice. They was good, but you gave them the business.
From here or just in general?
I'm talking about in general. Because, I mean,
I
just to
want
throw
both.
out there. Yeah, you can talk about both. But I just want to throw out there, I know you played against Tyler Ewers.
Yeah.
So if he one of them, I want you to tell us. But
No, Tyler was good, man. He was good, but again, I took it personal. My coach hyped it up. You know, he this, he that. I'm like, yo, he 5'8". Everybody he 5'8". Put him on my hip.
right.
He nice. Like, don't get me wrong, he nice.
We know that. We know
But
that.
I took it personal. Like, he turned the ball over 5 times that game. You know, I had a few of my guys in the stands. And, you know, they wound up beating us by like 20. But, you know, just taking the matchup personal and just having that, you know, that Baltimore pride, really, that's all it was with that. I was able to, you know, get mine off and things like that. And it was respect. After the game, you know, they were saying, you know, good game and stuff like that. So my thing is, yo, if your peers tell you nice and you got, I don't care what nobody say. He was one. Well, you mentioned him. I ain't. Really
My fault. Give me yours, bro. My fault.
Providence was my first game. We played against Chris Dunn, who was a top 5 pick. I had a good game. Had 19 against him. I had a good game against him. We lost by 3, but I was, you know, getting mine off. You know what I'm saying? I felt I belonged. And then Providence had played Michigan State a couple days later on ESPN. And what's his name? Jay Billis, I think is his name.
Jay Billis, yeah.
He said, you know, Chris Dunn had his hands full with Albany's guard, Evan Singletary.
Okay.
So once he said that, I was like,
Okay, that's
you
cool.
know, and at the time I'm at school and I'm in the apartment with people. They looking at me like, yo, he said your name.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I played in cool. I'm like, yeah, he said my name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said my name. But he was one guy. Let me think of a Baltimore guy. I mean, I don't have one. I have matchups that I love. Like, I love the Kale matchup. I love the Kale matchup because, I mean, we've been playing against each other since we was 12, 13. So it's always been fun playing against him. It's crazy. I don't have too many rivals. It's crazy. I don't. So the only one right now that I can think of that's fun, like around my age, is the Kale. I mean, the old Strong matchup got fun as I got older. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, and once I realized, oh, okay, I can play with you. You know what I'm saying? That got fun as I got older. But yeah, I don't have too many of them.
This gonna be the last question. Is anybody whose story you want to see built from nothing?
A couple of them.
Name
I like the B Youngs. I like the Dre Cooks. I like the I think y'all already had Stanton on here. Yeah. I love the Stantons. Y'all had Fresh. I love the Fresh. You know, my favorite, Josh Shelby.
Gotta get him.
That's my guy.
Gotta get him.
That's
So
who,
then you can link us up.
that was my big dog
you gonna
coming
make
up.
that
So
happen.
that was my big dog. So
Cool.
the Shelby story gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Number one player in the country. So
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think you can beat that.
One of the things I like that you said was that you giving the young people, you know, the information
Yeah,
for
for
when they
sure.
go. So, like I said, this episode was to give you your flowers, and we appreciate you, brother. That's another episode of Built From Nothing. We get up with y'all later.